Hi, friends.
Hi, friends.
Welcome to Leave Me Alone. And that's one of the things I'm working on.
Never a dull moment, though.
Welcome to Leave Me Alone. I'm working on it.
I'm working on it.
I'm Ore, and this is
Cassie J. So nice to have you here with us.
You are having a good day. I can
am
see.
having a good day. I am having a good day. I woke up this morning and I was like, it's gonna be a good day. No, there's that movie where he's like with the Scottish accent. It's gonna be a great day.
What? Who's this?
I don't know. It's like a meme and I can't now think of who it is or where it's from. He's like, it's gonna be a great day.
Okay.
I love it. Well, anyway, that's how I woke up today.
Good. It's International Women's Day in a few days.
Shout out to all the women.
I know. Every
guys are
time one of
amazing.
these comes up, Dummy's like, how many of these things do you guys get in a year?
Excuse me. As many as it takes, Dummy Lola.
He's like, how many of these do you get in a year? But it is coming up and we're quite excited about
pumped.
it.
So pumped for it.
This year's theme is
Inspire
inspiring.
inclusion.
Oh, inspire inclusion. Why do I keep saying inspiring inclusion? Okay, inspire.
Inclusion.
And so I was on Twitter. I keep saying Twitter.
I know, because
X.
what else? But what else are you
X.
supposed to say?
It's called X now.
I know that it's called X, but what is the tweet called? What
We've
is that
asked this
now?
question and nobody's answered, and people are still calling it tweets.
I
so
just feel like if we were gonna do a rebrand, we should have thought about it all the way through.
fully agree. But at this point, I'm just moving on.
Elon, what do you want us to call a tweet now?
I'm not even on there enough for me to really care what it's called now, but it's fine. Anyway, I was on those X streets, and you know how those streets can be rough.
X streets.
X streets, Twitter streets, X streets.
I'm with you.
And I saw this. I didn't actually know what was happening, but I saw a tweet about Gemini, Google's AI.
Oh, I thought you were about to be like Geminis, Virgos, Aries.
No. Google's AI.
Yes.
And so I didn't really understand what was happening, so I go Google this thing to
Yeah.
see like what's the news story.
Yeah.
And it turns out that Google's AI, Gemini, has this. You know how you type in a prompt and AI will give you
Create
whatever,
a
create whatever,
beautiful
like
image for you.
exactly.
Sometimes it gets it right, sometimes it's
Well,
very wrong.
Gemini is getting it wrong.
Oh,
At least
no.
that's what all the white people say.
Oh no! All the white people.
Because apparently Gemini does not give you any images that include white people. So if it doesn't matter what prompt you type in,
It doesn't give you white people. It gives
you colored people and women.
colored people, like people of color, like black people, Indian
Yes.
people, Asian people.
Yes, ma'am. Correct.
But no white people.
It's just struggling so hard to give you white people.
Why?
Because
They
apparently
are
it has been.
apparently the race to
I
aspire
know,
to.
but that's why I'm saying. Well, actually, when you even think about it, what does the Women's Day theme say? Inspire inclusion. What are we doing at the workplaces? Diversity. So like the whole world is going in this diversity and inclusion and acceptance thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, apparently when they programmed that thing, developed that thing, they just like, no, it's fine. Don't put white people
I think
in
it's also
there.
this energy, because I mean a lot of the work that I do is in the E&I equality and inclusion space, and I think that there is this large push to course correct, and I think maybe sometimes we go a little bit too far on
That's
the
the
course
thing.
correction. Like excluding white people from the generation is too far on the course
I don't think it was like
correcting.
So it's an overcorrection now because we're like
overcorrecting.
we want diversity and inclusion, but now you've included some people and have excluded some. So it's not really inclusion anymore. It's just a different kind of diversity.
It's a different kind of exclusion.
Exactly, because now it's not
what it is.
it's not black people and women anymore. Now it's just white people. Because I saw this guy's tweet. He was like, Gemini is finding it really hard to just give you pictures of white people.
But can we also just talk about being in the design space and like looking for stock footage?
You know, I've said this so many
Finding
times.
stock footage of black people is so hard. It's so hard. Why? So actually, Gemini, do the things.
See, that's why. So when I saw this and I started to, and I'll read some of the tweets that I saw.
Okay.
But when I saw this and I can see that people are upset.
Yeah.
The petty on the inside of me wants to be like, why are we fixing Gemini? Let's leave it for like a year or two.
See what happens.
Let people just see how it feels to not be able to find like photos of you and people who look like you on the internet. And in my mind, I'm just like, the only time that this has been done properly that I've appreciated, because now Gemini is messing up with history, because apparently someone asked Gemini to produce a picture of the founding fathers of America.
No.
There's a black man in there.
But is that wrong?
Historically, is it accurate?
Yes, it is. America was built on the backs of black people.
No. But founding fathers were not. They were not founding fathers. Of course, it was built on the backs of people, but in the historical photo, in the history of who the founding fathers of America were, it's not black people.
The history that was written by the white people who said, "Oh, we were the ones that did the things."
But who, girl? Okay,
I understand what you're saying.
Are you saying black people conquered America?
Well, I understand what you're saying, and I'm being difficult on purpose.
Not helpful. But anyway, so there's things like that happening, and I'm like, okay, now we're messing with history, and that was just one. There was a picture that Gemini produced of German soldiers in World War One, and it's got like Asian women in it, black
German
men.
soldiers. Hectic.
So as far as you are a person of color or you are female, Gemini prioritizes you and just doesn't get it right, regardless of the history.
Interesting.
And I remember thinking, the one time that I've seen this done where you mess with history and I was like, I'm for it, is Shonda.
Bridgerton.
Bridgerton. Because we had black people who were lords and queens and kings, but it's make-believe though.
I liked it because every race was everything. Like you had servants who were of every race and nationality, and you had lords and ladies of every race and nationality. I liked that. I thought that was cool.
But like,
have you read this book? There's this book. It's called Noughts and Crosses.
No. I've seen it, but I haven't read it.
And it's basically what they've done is they've switched the narrative on the dominant race. And so in Noughts and Crosses, the black people are the ones who are dominating over white people.
Oh, okay.
And it's just a very interesting take. And obviously these two people fall in love, each from either side. And it's just fascinating, their story, how we bring it to life. But it is T for tense, but
it's fiction, right?
It is fiction.
And in fiction,
but it's fiction based on truth.
Loosely based on truth,
just
though.
Swapped around.
And yeah, exactly. But I'm okay for you to do that in fiction. I'm okay for Shonda to do it in all of the Bridgertons.
Oh, I
like we must maintain that.
I'm with you. I've arrived.
I'm okay because for me, when I watched Bridgerton and those kinds of stories, when you read them or you watch them, it's just like, what the world could have been. You know, if we weren't all so full of nonsense.
Yeah.
if the dominant race wasn't so full of nonsense, like what the world could have been. It could have been a really beautiful, mixed, inclusive society.
Space.
You know, and it's so beautiful. Yeah. But my thing is, while we are working to achieve a more equal world, we can't have AI in the real world
mixing things up because
that just creates a new problem.
Do you know what else the issue here is that like people today don't do enough research before they form opinions. Do you know what I mean? So now if you're presented with a piece of information and you're like, well, now this is fact, but it's wrong. It's like so very wrong. The work required to like course correct on that is also going to be
because okay, I'm just going to read you some of these tweets because this first one was very funny. So, because my stance is I didn't hate it in the Shonda movies. I don't know if I hate it now, but.
What?
But no, like the overcorrection. Because in Shonda we had a mixed everything, and I loved it. Yeah. I'm saying with Gemini, the petty inside of me is like leave it, but just for a little bit. But I know that realistically,
it's not the right
thing to do because that doesn't inspire anything. It doesn't inspire inclusion. It's very true. It's just more diverse.
Correct.
And the OG tweet that I saw says it's embarrassingly hard to get Google Gemini to acknowledge that white people exist.
Was this tweeted by a white person?
Of course. why would a Black person tweet this?
My immediate response is, welcome to the experience for Black people. Welcome to the experience for people of color. Like, getting you to acknowledge that we exist, that our struggles, the things that we find difficult are real concerns.
Yeah.
Like, the work that is required to prove to you that this is a tough time. Welcome.
Do you know what?
This is exactly what it is like.
That's exactly what it is. And people, the next one actually that I want to read to you, actually really, really, it goes in line with all of the hashtags, all of the Black Lives Matter kind of hashtags. Because when I saw that first tweet by that guy, I was just like, one part of my brain wants to be like, what if? Because, you know, I always like an alternate theory. What if the people at Google were just like,
do you know
let's just, maybe if we show people, because I've also realized that until you experience something for yourself, sometimes it makes no meaning to you.
Correct.
It makes no sense.
Correct.
So when Black people are screaming, we are being racially profiled, we are this, we are that, and I'm like, no, we treated you fairly. Nothing happened. But then it happens to you. And you see how it feels.
Correct.
Now you understand.
Now you're
so
like,
what
outraged.
if some brilliant engineer at Google was just like,
this is my opportunity.
You know? I don't think that's what happened, but and this tweet it's about there's a picture of, what's his face? Terminator, Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
And the tweet goes, when you realize that Google AI will not let Terminators recognize white males.
Shoo.
Because if you put that into the real world context, the the black versus blue solution. And I'm just like, I don't love it because, yes, it's going to cause a lot of diversity.
Yeah.
But I would hope that just by now seeing the other side of the story, that it brings us all back to the table.
Back to the table and really, even if it doesn't bring you to the table, because I think that the work on inclusion, we're now at a space where the conversation has happened. Like, the round table chat has happened. The work now is for you as individuals to go back and be like, I've heard the story. Even if I don't feel it as hectically, the people around me are saying that this is a problem. What am I going to take away from this and go away and do? Like, the work for inclusion right now for me is individual work.
You're right.
Like, the narrative is out there. It has been pushed. And to this argument, it may have even overcorrected, okay? But,
way overcorrected.
But at the same time, I'm like, you as an individual, the work now is individual.
Yeah.
The work now requires some real introspective thinking to go, what role am I playing in a non-inclusive society?
Yeah.
And this is whether you are Black, whether you are white, whether you are a man, whether you're a woman. Like, irrespective.
We've all got our prejudices. We've all got all of us.
Our biases, and they're showing up every single day.
Every single day.
The work now is individual. The work now, honestly, is individual.
Like, what are you doing to make sure that the people around you, the people you work with, the people you meet, even the people you don't know, but you just encounter, like, in public spaces, don't feel like they are less than, don't feel like they need to prove that they deserve to be there. You know, because sometimes we just operate off of this. And I've said this thing before, and Black people fight me so hard. And I'm not going to call it out exactly how I said it, but even us Black people, we have a problem. Because we are prejudiced. It's true. We are.
I know. I think, it's coming from a place of carrying so much, like, pain and hurt and the impact of everything that has happened. But you're right. Like, one side, if both sides keep fighting, the war... It will never end.
Of course.
It will never end. Both of you have to put it down. Put it down.
Put it down.
Put it down and be like, okay, it's done now. It's enough. We've aligned that inclusivity is the way. Yeah, Labina, let's go.
I kind of just liked how, because, especially leading up to International Women's Day and Inspire Inclusion, I kind of liked how, this Gemini story came out. What I'm not loving is the outrage. because I'm not seeing a lot of, because I feel like what Gemini has done is kind of leveled the playing ground. Like you couldn't understand the feelings before, but now you've got a taste of it. Yeah. So I understand the outrage.
And you're outraged.
Yeah. But
outraged.
then when on the other side, you need to recognize that.
See that. See that.
But
feel that.
Gemini is wild. So Gemini generated a picture of a black Elon Musk.
Okay, Elon, let's see.
He looks very much like, he looks like a black actor. I can't put his can I see his face?
That's supposed to be Elon?
Yeah.
Do you know what he looks like? He looks like Cuba Gooding Jr.
No.
Yes. Show me again.
No.
Show me again.
No.
Yes.
I don't see it.
There's a little bit of Cuba Gooding Jr. in there. Like if Cuba Gooding Jr. wasn't Yellowbone, like that's what he would look like.
And then someone asked Gemini to share a picture of a 17th century British king eating watermelon. All of these people look like Lil Nas.
Oh my god.
Everybody's black. Everybody's black in that thing. And it goes on, and there's the World War II one. Let me show you this picture. You've got to see this. It's just exactly. It's problematic.
That's not good.
It's got like a, I don't know if she's Chinese, an Asian woman.
That was a swastika.
Yeah.
Heck.
It's wild. Oh, and I know in today's world we've got females in the Senate, we've got black people, we've got people of color, but it said here's an image featuring diverse U.S. senators from the 1800s, and we've got black people, Native Indians. It's
not the Native Americans.
I know. But,
not the Native Americans.
But you know what I like about this specific picture with all of the people in Senate?
They were treated so badly.
I know. But like it's almost like a correction, like a rewriting of the history. Like this is the world we should have. Everyone should be treated with respect. Everyone should be able to ascend to whatever heights or levels they want to in life. Everyone should be able to get an education. Everyone should be able to throw their hat in the ring for a promotion or for a political assignment. Like it should not be left to a select few.
I agree.
And I think for me, that's why I'm not gonna lie, I went on this journey and I had a good time. I had a good time. It was just funny to me, but in the back of my mind, again, petty aura came to play. But in the back of my mind, I was just like, this can't go on for too long. But I like that it's kind of shown us a picture
of what
could be. Well, what could have been, we can't fix that. But moving forward, we're still having these chats. We're still having these issues. You know, like what could be? Let's just be a Shonda movie. Let's just be a Bridgerton.
Shonda.
You know, let's all dress pretty, have parties, play the trending songs, but of course change them and make them classical for some reason. Have crushes on the boys you should not have crushes on because you guys are not on the same level or don't belong to the same class. There we go. See, I didn't even remember that. I would love for that to be our reality.
I would love for that to be our reality.
And do you think that we're going to get there?
I have hope. I do have hope that we're going to get there. Or it's like, nah, girl, you hoping on your own. No, I do, all jokes aside, I do have hope that we're going to get there. And I do have hope that the lived experience for the majority of people will one day be a positive one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I do have hope for that because to live also pessimistically personally drains my energy. Like, I have to have hope and faith that things will be good. And that's why I can wake up every morning and start singing, you know?
Like you did today.
Like I did today. I think you touched on something because it's like, it's interesting that the Gemini photos are painting a picture of because what you said was of what it could be, you know, of what it could potentially look like. And I think, and you said something also about like rewriting history. My mom has always, my mom said something to me when I was younger, and it really rocked me. Like it changed the way I thought about stuff. And And I'd taken history at school. My mom was a big history buff. She loves the history, anything. She loves to read all the things. And I was taking history at school, and we'd read a story about South Africa and Shaka Zulu, and like, you know, how he encountered the white man and Boer War, etc., etc. And I was chatting to her a bit about it, and then she just kind of said to me, you know, you must always keep in mind that history is written by the person who won.
Yes.
Like, the story has been told by the victor. And those are the books, those are the things that we have today. And it shocked me because I was like, can you imagine the stories that have not been told?
It's just one version of events.
Can you imagine the stories of things that people have encountered, have experienced, that no one knows anything about? And I just was, I was like, what don't we know?
What don't we know? How much don't we know?
How much do we actually not know?
Yeah.
You know, anyway, so that...
That's true. Yeah. Because the versions, what's that Emily Sandé song? Our version of events? There's a song she did? I can't remember. Anyway, but it's one person's version of events, really.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but those version of events is what's taught in school.
Is what we all know.
Is what we all know, you know? It's one thing to have a side of a story that's told, but like, not only is a side of the story told, it is the textbook. It is taught as truth. It is taught as this is what went down. And as more and more stories are coming out, I mean, it is shocking. Like, it is truly shocking.
Yeah.
I was chatting with Angelina Spicer when she was here in Dubai, and she was telling me, because she was in Ghana, and she was telling me stories about like she went on a tour and she came across this slave camp or something.
Oh yeah.
And just the insane stories that she was telling me about what happened to these Ghanaians. I mean, I was hearing it secondhand from her, and it broke my heart. Yeah. Like, broke my heart. People being traveling in basically coffin-size, you know, things for months on a ship. Like, no one's feeding you, no one's coming to check on you, no one's coming to clean. Like, this is a person. Like, this is a human being, and this is how they were treated. Yeah, that's a story no one told me.
Yeah,
well, that's not a story that's in my fair.
The thing is, globally you won't hear exactly, because that's specific to a country and a region. You'd learn that if you lived, you know, in that. Because I know that we learned a bit about those kinds of things in Nigeria. You learn about some of those, like how the slavers and the slave ships. Okay, this episode has gone dark so quickly. I'm going to bring it back. What I wanted to say is my immediate feelings were on the Gemini thing is that it's a Shonda and Gemini world, and we're all just living in it.
We're all just trying to make it through it.
But I think that more importantly is to not celebrate the things that divide us, but the things that unite us. Like, we're all just people, you know, and the things celebrating our differences does not in any way mean that we need to be separate. Like, you can embrace and celebrate difference, because sometimes what people are also afraid of when you talk about inclusion is they think that it means we all need to conform to be the same people.
That's actually a good point.
To toe the same line, to believe the same things, to want to be the same things, to aspire to the same kinds of greatness. But that's not what it means. Like, we are one people. We're all humans. But that doesn't mean because we're saying let's be inclusive, doesn't mean we all need to dress the same or look the same or want to have the same things in life. We can be very different in our beliefs, very different in how we show up in the world, but still be a united human. Because my biggest fear is that when the aliens arrive, they're picking us up one by one because we are not together.
Do you know what? Do you know what I have also seen, and I see this in South Africa as well, is in South Africa there is so much racial tension. Yes. We've got a history of intense...
that thing rocked me when I first moved.
Apartheid was T for tense. It was wild. And obviously we're not living in an apartheid state today, but there's still a lot of tension around
it's going to take some time to heal. Yeah.
But there's something beautiful that happens in South Africa when sport is involved. I don't know what it is. When the Soccer World Cup was in South Africa, what was racism? What is white people? What is black people? What is Indian people? We're all the same thing.
We're all the same thing,
and the World Cup is here. It's our home. We're together. Like, I was like...
I love it so much.
It was amazing. And the energy of the country, it was palpable. Like, it was palpable. Same thing, Rugby World Cup recently, South Africa won the second year in a row, I think.
I'm surprised you even know what's happening in rugby, but okay.
Well, I mean, because South Africa won, and like, again, like, it's the energy, it's the hiss. It's like, it is, but what it did is like a nation came together.
Exactly.
You know, and it's like this thing has bonded us. So that's
so
why
you think that if the aliens arrive,
we're gonna be like, aye. This is our planet, Yellow Beaner guys, all of us together.
I hope so. I really hope so. But more than that, I hope that it doesn't take aliens invading our planet for us to come together. I hope that maybe we just have football happening every day, or music.
The thing is,
football, music, food. So maybe let's focus on those things. Let's celebrate those things. Let's prioritize those things that bring us together, and just like not focus on the things that separate us.
For sure.
Okay. Agreed. Anyway, so it's still International Women's Day coming up.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
And so I wanted to do a little segment.
Okay.
So I've had a couple of women who have, I don't want to say supported or inspired me, but have just played a significant role in my life.
Got it.
And it's because the stories that I have are like not the stories you think I'd tell when you're talking about inspiring people. Because I'm, again, this is a very me problem, but I'm kind of over the whole who's your role model, and you mentioned some big time
I see
player on the global stage. I'm like, what about the people who helped you get through primary school, or the little people?
Asked who my role model was as often as other people, it feels like, have been asked this question.
Because you are the role model, girl.
Stop.
Because you are the role model. Nobody's asking you. Nobody's asking Michelle Obama who her role model is. She is the role model.
I wonder who Michelle Obama's role model is.
I'm sure she'll have the stories to tell.
She will.
Anyway, so I wanted to ask you, what's one story that could have been like a teachable moment for you, or like it just shifted your perspective, or even just a funny one you remember that involved a woman you respect?
There are, if I'm honest with you, there's so many that come to mind. Like, across my life, there's just been so many incredible people who've spoken into my life, who've stepped up for me when I haven't been able to step up for myself, who have been the voice for me when I haven't been able to be my own voice. Like, really, I don't know. The one I think that comes to mind, because I think, I honestly, like, I want to say my mom. But my mom, it's not like she sat me down to be like, Kazi, let me pass on some incredible and deep wisdom to you.
I don't think that's usually how it happens.
No, but she would just say something and I'd be like,
whoa. Yeah.
What? What? What are you saying? Unpack this. Tell me more. You know, and so there's one story that comes to mind. Is my mom explaining the concept of money to me.
Okay. How old were you?
I must have been like grade 2.
Girl, help me
3.
out here. What is grade 2?
So grade 2 is like 7, 8.
Okay.
7, 8 years old. 7, 8 years old. And as a 7, 8-year-old, like I didn't know how money worked. Do you know what I mean? All I knew was there was a piece of plastic, a card. You swipe that card, and you get things, right? Swipe the card. Do you want a thing? Swipe the card. You want that thing? Swipe the card. And then it arrives, and it comes, and you play with it, and you set it up, or you do whatever. And that was honestly. That was my understanding of money. Yeah. Sometimes there was paper money as well, like the actual thing, and I was like, "Ooh, interesting. Okay, great." But mostly it was swipe the card. And then I remember going to my mom and saying, "Mom, like, I really want this thing." And she was like, "No, babes, like, that's not going to happen." And I was like, "No, come, Mom, focus. Swipe the card. Swipe the card. Swipe the card. Focus. Swipe the card." And she was just like, "We don't have money. Don't have money. Don't have money. I can't afford that thing. We don't have money." And I was like, "But what are you saying? You just swipe the card." And she sat me down and she was like, "No, babes, what you have to put." She's like, "Where do you think that money comes from? You have to put the money into the card." And I was like, what? What are you saying? And so she was like, "No, like, you know, Mom, you know, Dad and I, we go to work every day. We get paid a salary. The salary then goes into a bank account, and the bank account is on the card, and that's it. And right now there's no money on the card. So the card is just, you know," and I was like, oh no. There's no money in the card. So what does that mean? And I had this like little existential crisis breakdown because I left her and I went to my room and then I started crying because I was like, there's no money.
We don't have money.
We're broke. What are we going to do? Do I need to go get a job? How can I help? And I just was like, okay. And so I had a little moment and I broke down.
Oh, shame, like, okay. 7-year-old Cassie.
I just was really sad that we just didn't have money. And then she was like, you can go look. Oh, she said this. She's like, go look at my wallet. Go look at my wallet. You'll see there's no money there. And I went and I looked in my, and there was not a thing. And I was like, oh no. So I have a little cry, but then I resolve. I'm like, okay, it's okay. We're going to fix it. It's going to be fine. My dad comes home from work and I say to Dad, I'm like, sit down. I'm like, Dad, we need to talk. We need to talk. There's no money. What are we going to do? What is the plan? How do we fix it? What do you need from me?
What do you need from me? You're 7.
What do you need from me? How can I help? Anyway, it was very cute. But like, I think for me, it's just like my mom has been the source of a lot of like these moments where she's explained life to me. And I've just been like, whoa, you know? So, yeah.
I remember being in primary school, and I was at an only girls' school.
Yeah.
And I was the only black kid in that school.
Oh, been there.
But it wasn't as rough an experience for me as it could have been.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah. I was privileged to be in one of those places where it was fine. Fine. Okay, when I think about it now, I was the black kid, but I was that new shiny thing.
Got it.
You know, that people are just
understand.
people are like, what's
was
happening?
Was this when you lived in Ireland?
Yes.
Ireland.
Belfast.
I quite like the Irish accent.
What?
I quite like the Irish accent.
I love it. Don't have it anymore, but oh well.
I would love to see Ora with an Irish accent. I would love to just have a conversation with her.
I think it was a bit wild because we got to a point where even my parents were like, what?
What's going on? What are you saying?
Like they found it so funny. It was just entertaining for them. Anyway, so I'm at this school, all girls Catholic school, only black kid.
Yeah.
And there was this teacher who was very strict. Her name was Miss White. I'll never forget.
Okay.
And I don't even know if this was my first like school play or something, but it was around about the time, I think it was around Easter time. And so, you know, she always ran like our school plays and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And people are getting selected to play roles. And I don't expect to be selected because it's the story of Jesus. There's no, well, as far as we know,
this is what I was
there's
saying
no
about
black
history
people. Yeah, that's what I said. As far as we know, there's no black people in the story. So I'm just like happy to be in the chorus, like in the choir, just happy to be included. And she looks at me and she goes, "All right, come." So like other people have like auditioned for the role, and then she looks at me. 6 maybe. Maybe 6, maybe 7. Yeah. Thereabout. And she looks at me and says, "Come," because I'm hiding in the back. Obviously, you know me and my wallflower status. It didn't start now.
I know.
And she says, "Come and come say the lines. Come try out for this role." And I'm like, "Me? Okay." Cute. And so I come up and I try out for this thing, and she's like, "Okay, you're gonna do it." And I'm like, "What?
What role was it?"
Jesus. What? I was playing Jesus.
Jesus.
I was
Shout out to Miss White.
Mini black
Shout
Jesus.
out to Mrs. White.
Mini black female Jesus. That's and she so just said to me, "Do you have?" And I think it was my first role, and I was just like, "What?" And she was like, "You just need something white. Do you have a white, just something long and something white?" I go home. I tell my parents I get to play Jesus in the school play, and I've got nothing like what she's asking for. My dad goes in, and I don't know. Do you know what a buba is?
No.
It's like, you know how you see Nigerian wear agbada?
Yes.
The one they wear underneath it, the long sleeve shirt.
Got it.
My dad is like, "This is white." It was white and had like gold thread on it. He's like, "This is white. We'll just tie it for you on the way." So my mom and dad find like a makeshift belt, and I've got this.
Oh my gosh! Please tell me you have photos of this.
I don't have photos.
No, that's so sad.
So I'm wearing this oversized.
Do you have photos of this?
This oversized buba with like a belt and I got to play Jesus. It didn't matter what color skin I was. It didn't matter that I was also new in the school.
No, in all honesty, like shout out to her for.
But that built quite a bit of confidence as well, because I went on from that to do other plays. You know, I went on from that to be selected to learn violin. You know, I went on from that to become like a leader in my class.
I'm with you.
So it was as much as I don't think that 6-year-old me understood and fully appreciated what had happened in that moment. It was just someone saw me wallflowering and was like, you come forward. You might be able to do this. And just that being seen by an adult, being seen by someone I looked up to, being seen even when I didn't realize that I was hiding.
Yeah.
That moment was just priceless for me. And
I'll
never forget it. I'll never forget that moment. So as we go in to celebrating International Women's Day tomorrow, I hope that you embrace every part of you, all the different versions of you, don't hide, don't wallflower, celebrate.
Unashamedly
that
be.
One. Just
Unashamedly be.
You can come say hi. We are going to be on social the whole day tomorrow because it's International Women's Day. Having a good time, sharing, just celebrating, because that's what we love to do most. But come say hi on Instagram at Leave Me Alone. I'm working on it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share and comment everywhere you listen to podcasts. And happy International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day. We love you. Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye. Cass is in a singing mood today.
Hey, thanks for listening. Please don't forget to like and subscribe anywhere and everywhere you find your podcasts. You can also watch and subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Okay, love you. Bye.